All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA props video. Going to be breaking down the two-game slate on Wednesday, starting with Houston versus Golden State. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we start off with the game preview here, and I think it is worth calling out that Houston is favored to win by 4 points in this game, which is in line with kind of how I see this game going as well. It just kind of has that feel to it that this is a good series that just can't end with the Warriors winning 4-1. Obviously, Houston's down 1-3 right now. They kind of need the win as well, and so maybe a little bit desperation mode, and I just think the 4 points is correct, and so I will be shaping my bets a little bit around that with the expectation that Houston could end up winning. Obviously, if you guys don't think that's going to be the case, just apply that thought that you have as we're going through some of the bets here for Houston. And so, yes, let's start off with Houston here with some of the bets that we are getting. And I think it's worth calling out, guys, that a lot of the data points that we have coming in from the projection data standpoint really like the overs here. And so some of these under bets that we're being told to bet via the average sportsbook line for PrizePicks Underdog, we're on the PrizePicks tab right now. These would not be good PrizePicks Underdog prop bets. They would be decent traditional sportsbook bets. So with that, I'm going to call some of these bets for Houston that I do like, but not necessarily going to be good bets on PrizePicks or Underdog. But if you guys want to use them, I mean, you can, but not those bets that are 54% likelihood or better to hit. Going to be better traditional sportsbook bets. So like looking at Dillon Brooks for over 12.5 points, it's okay. The average sportsbook line giving it almost a 52% chance for the over to hit. Not terrible. We see the game log from him, 50% on the series. It's okay. Fred VanVleet's an interesting one as well at 4.5 assists for the over. Okay, all the data points are telling us to bet the over that we have coming in, the projection data, average, everything else, okay? You can see on FanDuel, it's at plus 100, and I actually think that's a pretty darn good bet on FanDuel, plus 100 there, where all the other books are at least minus 105, at least at a minus number there. And we see in this series thus far 6, 3, 2, and 7. So 50% there. But again, given the fact that they are 4-point favorites in this game, that kind of is telling me that some buckets are going to fall a little bit more so. And that could end up being the difference there for for Fred VanVleet. And then if you want to, you could do his over points. That's not a terrible bet there as well. Alfred Sengun as well for over his points as well at 19.5. Again, the theme here is 50% on the series, and that's probably why we are getting some of the lines that we are getting here, guys. Not terrible. We are getting a bunch of decent spots. But let's go ahead and just take a peek and use the bet tag and see, we're getting a few great bets. Great bets are going to be bets that are almost checking all the boxes. Obviously, they correlate with what we're being told to do. So Fred VanVleet for over points, Sengun over points. Fred VanVleet for over points and rebounds is an interesting one there as well. He has gotten this over the last 2 games. As you guys can see, we're only getting 4 sportsbooks coming in with this line right now. It is interesting to call out, though, that we have BetMGM at 17.5, FanDuel at 16.5, DraftKings at 17.5, Bovada at 16.5. And so you see why PrizePicks has it at 17. So just an interesting line to call out. Chances are he's probably just going to get to 17 there. That's what the data is kind of telling us there. But decent spots there. And so switching to Golden State, a lot of the bets here are kind of telling us to bet a lot of the overs as well, which is kind of an interesting thing about this game. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of once again more sportsbooks come in, what bets are going to be considered good bets tomorrow on the PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheets for NBA. But again, all this is about trying to gain some early edges. And again, if you are some that bets on traditional sportsbooks, some decent calls here as well. So looking at Draymond Green for over 6.5 assists, we are going to notice the last 2 games has gotten the over. The 2 games prior to that, 5 and 6. I do like that consistency there with him. And so, about a 52.5% likelihood to get the over via Vegas odds. I'm okay with that one. Like if you guys wanted to place this bet on PrizePicks, I do think it's a decent edge. I don't know about you guys, but I do find the Buddy Hield kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, banter with him and Jimmy Butler is kind of fun. But I don't necessarily want to bet on him points wise. I feel like that's just... It's a little bit of a guessing game. So 16 and 15 minutes the first 2 games, and then 30 and 29 the last 2 games. Can we count on those minutes to be there again for him? I don't want to bet on that specifically. Like, for example, I kind of thought there's a chance that Gary Trent Jr. could end up starting for the Bucks, along with kind of the lineup that they ended up running out on Tuesday night. And so with that, some of the other players saying that actually shifts up Gary Trent Jr.'s usage a decent amount. And so that's kind of like with Buddy Hield here as well. It's like I don't want to guess what his role is going to be and his minutes are going to be. So I'm going to stay away from that one. We do have pods here with an interesting one. Again, probably a better traditional sportsbook bet. On Bovada, you can get at plus 100 for him to get over his points, which he has done in 2 out of the 4 games thus far. And we see minutes 40, 33, 14, and 35. So, not not a terrible one, but given the fact that he just went off for a good game, I'm kind of expecting him to not play as well. And so with that, guys, we're like, it's a tight board. We're really not getting, I would say, any great bets, but let's just go ahead and take a peek at, again, the bet tag. We are getting some great bets, so let's just click on that. So Buddy Hield over points, if you guys want to get there, you can. Jimmy Butler for over his points, rebounds, and assists of 29.5 is one that is definitely interesting here. So we pull up kind of his game log. So has played in 3 games against Houston, obviously getting injured in one of those. So has obviously just been going off. I'm kind of okay with just kind of riding the hot hand here with Jimmy Butler. If you guys want to bet on him over 29.5 points, I don't think I would argue with you there. Now, the one thing that I do notice about this game, and I think we're going to get some decent bets, is we're not getting any fantasy score prop bets for this game just yet. So that's something, again, that I'll probably update maybe tonight as I'm recording this on Tuesday. Obviously, it'll be there on Wednesday. So just be on the lookout for those as you guys are, placing your bets tomorrow. And then another interesting one, just roll-wise, I don't know if I necessarily need to get there, is going to be Quentin Post, guys, for his over. And the reason why is, like, can we really trust his minutes? 20, 27, 25, and 12. Like, it's a little bit difficult there, but he's projected to get 21 minutes. And if he does get 21 minutes, his over 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists is an interesting one. I think we would be okay getting there as well. All right, so now jumping into the Minnesota versus Los Angeles Lakers game. The Lakers are going to be favored to win by 5.5 points. The game total is set at 209, so nothing too crazy game total-wise as well there. Now, the nice thing about this game, starting out with the Lakers, is that we are getting 2 hammer bets. And if you guys are unfamiliar with kind of the data tag that I have there, it's basically a bet that's checking all the boxes. So as you see right now, guys, the PrizePicks line currently set at 33. It's just a little bit too low. It only has a 53.3% likelihood to hit. When we look at the underdog line, they have it at 33.5. The sportsbook line has it at 33.5. The projection data, 33.2. All the other data points that we have coming in are telling us to bet the over. Now, I do think the most interesting thing with LeBron and really just the talk about maybe why the Lakers lost that last game was their legs maybe tiring a little bit. Like JJ Redick did have to answer some questions about that. I do think it is part of the narrative. And so with that, do we see LeBron play closer to 43 minutes, 41 minutes? Like, do they find a 2-minute stretch in there, 1-minute stretch in there where he does sit? Now, it is an elimination game. They need him to go, but I'm just calling that out because if he does play closer to like 38 minutes, 40 minutes, obviously that does impact his likelihood to get the over there. But as it currently sits, guys, I do think that that's a pretty solid bet that we should be getting to. Another one, Austin Reeves for over his points, rebounds, and assists of 22.5. This is a clear edge. Underdog has this currently at 23.5, average sportsbook line at 23.5, and so I kind of like this one. Now, he has been pretty darn consistent as well thus far this series. Need a little bit more out of him. Okay, so at 23.5, he's only gotten the over once thus far this season. We need a little bit more out of him, but it's at 22.5. I really, given the minutes I would probably get, I really don't see a reason why we shouldn't go out of our way to target this one. Probably won't get in foul trouble in this game. It should be a good one. And just given the fact that he hasn't had like a big game yet, kind of feels like he's due, right? It kind of does. Now, if you guys are hearing that and saying, no, I think he's going to struggle again, bet is under 23.5 on Underdog or one of the other books that we are getting that line on. I think that'd be a fine option. And so we are getting one fantasy score prop bet, and that's going to be LeBron, guys. It's at 52.5, just a pretty high line. But again, if he does get those minutes, you kind of like his overs. Like, you just think in an elimination game, he's going to be good to go and just gearing to play well. I don't mind the idea of getting to him. But again, if we're doing that, I think we're just doing that first one that I called out. Now from there, we are getting some interesting lines with Dorian Finney-Smith, DFS himself. If he's going to be playing those heavy minutes where, he is someone that did not leave the court in the second half, then, man, he better be getting these overs, right? 4.5 rebounds for the over. He better get that. If he's going to get 41 minutes, 39 minutes, like it again, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. It's like we are guessing on the minutes a little bit, but I do think the Finney-Smith move was a defensive move. And so it really just depends on, and this feels like a guessing game. I don't know what JJ Redick's going to run out. I just don't. I would say that I would trust the projected minutes a little bit more. And if he does get those minutes, I don't mind the idea of betting his over 4.5 rebounds. Like, that is a decent one there. But again, if you think he's going to maybe be limited minutes wise, his under points, rebounds, and assists would be a decent one there as well. We're not getting that many books with this line just yet, but you could bet his under 14.5 points, rebounds, and assists as well. And again, guys, we do have another hammer bet in this game as well. It's going to be Julius Randle here for his over 24.5 points and assists. And if you're just looking at maybe 2 bets, you do Austin Reeves for over his, I think, his hammer bet, and then you could also do Julius Randle for over his points and assists here as well. Just because they're off by 1 compared to the other books. A decent little edge there. That's probably that is going to be the bet of the day for PrizePicks as it currently sits. Probably will begin those fantasy score prop bets as the day progresses. Again, tomorrow, we're only getting LeBron right now. I already called that out, but a pretty decent spot there for Julius Randle. I don't mind this one. Like it's decent. So he's gotten the over 3 straight games now. In the first game, had 21, so it wasn't terrible. We are seeing some differing lines here as well. Again, DraftKings has that 25.5 as well as Underdog, as well as the average sportsbook line. So a decent little edge there. So I did want to start with that one. And then from there, are we getting any other good spots? This is interesting with Minnesota. We are getting more differing lines here for Minnesota. So you could do Randall for over his rebounds and assists, but it's not as fluent in terms of the projections and whatnot as some of the other spots where everything was green pretty much for all the other spots. We are getting a little bit of red in here in terms of some of the bets. I will say Dante DiVincenzo, a little bit of a disappointment thus far this postseason in terms of his offensive production. I kind of think he's due for a big game, and so I wouldn't mind his over points and assists, but it'd be a bet that would be forcing a little bit. All right, guys, so we're about to get into the 9 to 5 bet of the day, but do want to call it. If you guys want access to that NBA cheat sheet, head on over to 9to5sports.com, get access to it for just $10 a month. That's going to include everything that's available on the website as well. Again, all for just $10 a month. Check out the new PrizePicks mobile cheat sheet as well. You guys can populate PrizePicks bet slips automatically using that tool. All right, let's go ahead and get into the bet of the day right now. And so a little bit different here. When I do these really early videos, I'm trying to gain some good early edges. So we have the 3 hammer bets in there right now that's being called up via the data just because they're checking on the boxes. So if you guys like these bets, by all means, these are 3 of the better bets, I would say, on paper. We also are getting some decent ones that I don't mind as well to make it maybe a 6 slip bet. These to me are the current best bets on PrizePicks right now. But again, we do want to just be betting on the bets that have a 54% likelihood or better to hit. Maybe some of these get bumped up and maybe we find some good edges, but I did want to call out my favorites. If you guys like any of these, feel free to use them as well. That's going to be all, guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck with all your bets. And as always, let's keep cashing. If you can, guys, leave a like on the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so before. Leave just a comment in the thumbs up as well. Maybe just a thumbs up or a smiley face emoji. That always helps out. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.